Welcome to another review episode of Just One More Fix. This is James. With me in this review is Lacey and Carrie.
Hey. Bye.
You can find us online at justonemorefix.com or on Twitter at justonemorefix. If you like us, head over to iTunes or to Google Play and give us a rating and a comment. This is review episode number 4, and in this one we're going to review Monsterhearts. And now it's time to get a review fix. Welcome to another review episode of Just One More Fix, take 2. So in this one we're going to review Monsterhearts. It's an awesome game that we play quite a bit here and we like. So Monsterhearts is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, and it is basically if you imagine Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a kind of a theme for it, or True Blood, or
maybe even Charmed.
Charmed, any of those kind of WB, that demon or angel. I'm sorry, not demon, angel. Buffy, all those kind of ones.
Teenage paranormal romance is what we're talking about here.
Pretty much. That's sort of the premise of the game. It's
produced by Buried Without Ceremony.
Yeah, and it's the game designed by Joe I'm going to butcher this name, Daldano. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but it's my last name is Yu, so I'm used to it. It's a great game. We like it here. The game itself, Monsterhearts has been out for a little while now. It's very popular. It's as well as a lot of the Powered by the Apocalypse games are. The book itself, it's nice. It's a black and white printed, full color cover. The book is about 160 pages or so. It's well written. It's pretty concise the way it's laid out. The rules are easy to understand, and it's designed to kind of get you playing pretty quickly. You do kind of have to give it a quick read through once probably before you play it, but it is friendly. The way it reads, it's I don't know. How would you say that? Get you playing pretty quickly. I mean, it's
This is kind of a common trait for a lot of the indie press games.
Yeah, and especially the Powered by the Apocalypse games are really made to kind of,
They condense the system down into the basics that you need to understand to get things moving along, and then there's some deeper context there if you need it.
Right. So there's some artwork inside that's kind of like the black and white rotoscope style artwork. I like it. I like that style of art though. But most of it is just pretty straightforward text and whatnot. It does come with some game aids that you can download, which I actually have all mine laminated because it just makes it easier. There's it's called an MC is who runs the game. There's an MC reference sheet, a couple player sheets, and then some MC reference pages to help you keep track of NPCs and plots and stuff like that. Then each of the characters, the way the game is designed is that they call them skins.
So the Powered by Apocalypse World games in general, they come with almost a pre-made character sheet. There's just a few choices you have to make to get things started. So you kind of make some decisions about how your character is going to look out of a list of examples. I'm sure you could certainly expand on that if you wanted to, but for those of us that are not big into character creation, here's a list of adjectives. You pick a few about yourself and you fill in some dots about the powers and abilities that you want to have.
The powers are moves.
Yeah.
The character sheet is just a single sheet of paper, front and back.
Front and back. They call them playbooks. There's 4 attributes. There's hot, cold, volatile, and dark. The total character creation takes about 10 minutes.
Probably for a first time players.
Right.
10 minutes.
So and then everything is spelled out. You need to make your character. All the what like Carrie said, the moves, the powers that you have, they're on the sheet, and you just basically fill in some dots to choose which ones you want to have or circle some things. But the nice thing is the rules are all on the character sheet. So, like, for one of the ghost moves is unresolved trauma. So it spells out exactly what that is in the character sheet right there and lays it out for you. So you don't have to re-reference the book once you've got your character sheet. You're good to go.
Your MC doesn't have to share the book.
Yeah, it's got everything you need. There are the player aid, the player reference sheet.
Moves
yeah, that's another sheet that you could print those out and have them laying out. So it makes it easier for everybody else to not have access to the book. You've got everything you need right in front of you, which is one of the things that I like about the Powered by Apocalypse games is that you don't have to have all these books floating around. You've just got everything you need right there.
Another thing that's kind of cool about the Apocalypse World system is it's another one of those where you gain experience through gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just at the end the GM says, okay, you guys have 5 experience. It's when you're using your selected stats You gain experience for using certain ones. Some of your moves will have it built in where you gain experience for some of those. So
or when you fail.
Experience
usually.
through play.
Yeah. So the system is
really easy. You do it at the table.
It happens right away. Yeah. So mechanically it's very easy. It's just a 2d6 system. Okay, so 6 through 2 is a failure, and that lets the game master make moves against you and complicate things and make things more difficult. 7 through 9 is succeed with the cost, which means you get what you want, but there's some kind of complication that happens. And then 10, 11, and 12 is you just succeed flat out. So it plays very quickly. The gameplay moves along very quickly, so you don't have to reference a lot of tables and that kind of stuff. It's designed to be more narrative and to just push the action along.
Something you should probably be aware of with any Apocalypse World system, but specifically Monsterhearts also, every character does have a sex move.
Mm-hmm.
So sex is an assumed thing. It is going to be happening during play, and there are certain benefits that your character will gain, or in some cases, hindrances your character will gain as a result of those things happening.
Right. So I guess like for the setting of the game, it's kind of ties into that, and what the game does is that you are at like Buffy. You're in a high school. Everybody chooses their what do they call it?
Skin.
Yeah, everybody chooses their skin, and so you only have one vampire, and you only have one chosen, and one ghost, and one werewolf. So that everybody is special in some way. Because if you think of the way the Buffy movies went, there's only one of each of the archetypes, or however you want to say it there. So that's very cool. So when you have your character, you will be the only one of that thing, which makes you special and an individual, and no one has powers like you, which is very cool.
It also creates a certain amount of isolation as well.
And tension, between the characters. So the game is about kind of being a teenager and dealing with being a monster, and also the kind of teenage angst and figuring out sexuality and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of social conflict that's built into it that way.
Relationships are a very important aspect of the game. It's almost as important as the overarching storyline or this episode's storyline.
Mm-hmm. They're very dynamic.
Yeah, it moves back and forth. You get strings on other characters, which kind of gives you makes your roles easier or harder depending, and they
strings
come
are
and go.
Your attachments to other characters. You get some automatically when you're creating a character with the backstory part, which is probably the longest part of character creation, is finding out who at the table you're already connected to.
But that part is still pretty easy because it spells them out. It says choose someone at the table who knows your secret. Choose someone at the table who you help get out of a tight spot. So that is the longest part, but even that part is still very quick.
Yeah.
So the strings kind of come and go, and it isn't necessarily positive or negative for how you feel about a character. It's more about how connected to them you are and how much you know about them. So you might have a nemesis, but you would still have a positive string to them because it represents how well you know them and how well they know you.
Your influence over them.
Yeah.
And whether or not you want to use it, because the strings do go away once you utilize them.
So they are very important. It's very very cool.
So I think we kind of touched on setting, but just again, it's kind of like that high school age. So anywhere you're thinking where you find teenagers, that is your setting.
Yeah. So it focuses on a town. Just if you haven't seen Buffy, it's basically very similar to that. But with the most Apocalypse World, the kind of the relationship and the interpersonal interaction, is turned up much more. So one of the abilities is called turn someone on, but it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to sleep together and hook up. It's more like that kind of weirdness that happens, between teenagers or whatever,
When you're crushing on someone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the best way to put it, really. So I love this game. It's so much fun. It's funny. Kurt Kurt is a very big Buffy fan. I am not, but I love this game. And
it's very lighthearted and it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can sip on a drink if you want, and it wouldn't affect your gameplay negatively.
No, not at all. Well, the other thing I like is a lot of the smaller press games. Some of them, I don't think that they're not necessarily designed to be a long running game. But we've had a Monsterhearts game here with us that's been going on several game sessions, and I don't feel like it's lost, any steam. I think it's almost actually gained steam as it's gone along.
I mean, it's almost designed to be, that episodic sort of series season setup, so it makes it easy to pick it up because you're used to that with this, and it is, I would say, it is set up so well for the Apocalypse World system. I actually like the Apocalypse system better with this game than I do with just plain Apocalypse World. Because, really though, just because the moves and the sex moves thing, it fits together so well with the setting and the feeling that they're trying to convey. It's very well done.
You definitely feel like a high schooler when you're playing.
For sure.
It's a lot of it.
And that's not a negative.
But like all of the good things, and not so much the bad things.
Yeah.
Maybe
well, then,
how you wish your high school.
This is what I think is funny is like I don't like Buffy, but I love this game, and I have so much fun running it because we have good players around our table, so half the work is already done for me. But the way the game plays and like the conflict, it's so sometimes hokey is the wrong, not hokey, but
I think Carrie said lighthearted.
That's probably the best. And the teenage drama, that happens, it's so much fun. It's just great.
So I think we kind of covered what it does well there. Just the lighthearted social interaction
and for running it. I've ran not a Monsterhearts game, but I've ran an Apocalypse World setting. How is it to run, James?
I love it. It's so much fun. You have to have one thing I will say is you have to when you sit down to play it, like when you play a lot of Apocalypse World games, as Lacey alluded to. There is a sexuality aspect to it, and you have to have everybody kind of knowing that going into it and be okay with that.
It's not something you want to surprise somebody with.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't have to be about that though. That's the one thing I will say is I don't feel like it's forcing it. That aspect of the game.
It's built into the system so that you can use it to do things and you can use it to add drama to the story, but it's not the point of the game.
That's I think what I'm trying to say is it's not the point of the game. It's used to add drama and add some.
Just further complicates the social dynamic.
Exactly.
Really. So, are there any unique challenges that you find with this game as an NPC? Or as an MC? As an
MC. Initially, I had some hurdles to get over because I've been gaming for a long time. I started with 2nd edition D&D. So this is like a more storytelling narrative kind of game. It's not like Kurt likes to say pass the stick. There's rules and so it's not completely narrative. But the emphasis is on the drama and on the story, and the moves part of thing. It takes a little while to get used to, but once I got used to it, it's seamless. I love it. It's so much fun. The MC doesn't roll any dice when players fail at their rolls or succeed with a complication. That's when you get to do things, and you make moves against them. So you have more of a storytelling position as opposed to like a rules arbiter kind of a thing. But I love it. It's so much fun, and it's great for a change. That's one of the things I like about this game so much is if you have that long-running, crunchy game and you're looking for something to kind of break the mold and get out and try something new and recharge your batteries for your classic fantasy game, this is a great way to do that because it's just so much fun. It's episodic.
It's quick to start.
Oh, so yeah.
You sit down at the table, like I said, 10 minutes time. Maybe you invest 20 minutes total in explaining the game, getting characters together, and everybody getting on board, and then you're off to the races. You're ready to go. I think that probably pretty much covers everything. Who does this game appeal to?
I think it would definitely appeal to anybody that likes Buffy. Like we already mentioned it a couple times. Supernatural viewers, people that love World of Darkness will love this game. World of Darkness is a little darker and it's a little bit more fun, but you still. Fun is the wrong word because World of Darkness is a lot of fun too.
Lighthearted.
I said lighthearted. I'm sticking to it.
Much less mechanical and much less crunchy. There's less that you have to know going into it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's probably easier on the MC too because you just come up with a villain. There's a lot of character interaction to fill up some of the time.
Well, it almost runs itself. It's sort of designed to sit down and just let it rip, and it really does take off on its own.
I actually don't like Buffy at all, or Twilight, or Vampire Diaries, but I do love World of Darkness, and I do like horror. And while this doesn't have a lot of horror in it, there are some things in it that are darker. But it is nice to, like we kind of talked about, step back and do something that is a little easier, a little more cooperative storytelling and a little less crunchy gaming. And it definitely meets all of those things. I would say, as far as maybe who it doesn't appeal to, if you have a mixed age group, I would be very careful with this. Like our friend Kurt has a library group. This is clearly not something you want to run for your teenagers at school when you're 30-something and they're 16-something. So mature game, and just make sure everybody is aware of the kind of themes that are going to be present in the game.
That's the big thing as far as who I think it is not for, or who I think it's a game for everybody. But I think that you have to be prepared to know what you're getting into and what you're sitting down. Not that it's some sort of super heavy game, but if you sit down to play, a regular D&D game and someone springs this on you and you've never played it before, it's a much different game. So I just think you have to be comfortable with the group that you're with, and
I think
enjoy
probably a bunch of teenagers could play this game if everyone at the table was a teenager. So, I mean, if you're 16, 17 years old, then have at. But, I don't want to play this game with a high schooler personally.
Right, yeah.
I agree with that. I think it would also appeal to anybody that already plays Apocalypse World settings. Monster of the Week is a fun game. It's very similar to that game.
Yeah. Any of them, Spirit of 77, Monster of the Week, actually just regular old Apocalypse World, any of the various versions of it. Now, I will say that there is a second edition that's on Kickstarter right now. I think it might be finishing up when this drops. I'm not sure. So they are getting ready to make some small changes to it. But from what I've read, they're not major changes. It's more how the strings work and that kind of stuff. So I would assume that game would be great as well.
The other thing I would say is that this is probably a good game if you have a bunch of people who are used to gaming in a way that has more system. You still have your dice and you still have your character sheet and you still got that little bit of system there. So this is kind of a good edge into the more storytelling game and the more change in system. So, you're preparing them for that leap to where we're not going to be using dice anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I would definitely use this game to bring my Dungeons & Dragons group into the present age setting.
Right.
And then maybe bring them to a World of Darkness game. Like, just so they're more accustomed to role-playing in today's world.
Right. Something Kurt was initially really turned off by the Apocalypse World game because he had kind of a bad experience with it. He felt like every time he rolled the dice, it's hard to succeed, like completely succeed. A lot of the times you do is just succeed with the consequence. And Kurt had a bad experience playing a regular Apocalypse World game because he felt like he was always being punished. He said this is the game where you just shaft the players at every turn. And I feel like while it's that you could do that with this, I don't think that's the intention of it. The MC isn't meant to be punitive. So every time you're not supposed to, punish the players. You're supposed to make it hard for them, but you're not supposed to, punish them and.
So when you're adding consequences, think about things that are going to make it a little more difficult for them, but in a way that makes the story more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Add drama to it. I think that's like who it wouldn't be for. Is if you're already turned off by Apocalypse World, this may not be the game for you, but it also is significantly thematically different than regular Apocalypse World. So you might still give it a try.
I think it would also appeal to anybody that enjoys reading young adult books.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Twilight.
So we like this game? Thumbs up? Yes?
2 thumbs way up.
Very enthusiastic thumbs up.
Right.
This is a fun game.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great game. We got a lot of fun with it. So Monsterhearts, go check it out. I believe I'll have a link in the show notes for where it's available from, but it's produced by Buried Without Ceremony. I got it right 2 times this time, so apologies to them for the last time. I said it wrong quite a few times in the episode, but like I said, it is a great game. We love it a lot. Yeah, Monsterhearts, go check it out. Play it. Have fun.
Thanks for listening. This has been another episode of Just One More Fix. Music has been provided by Kevin MacLeod. You can find him at incompetent.com. You can find us at justonemorefix.com and follow us on Twitter at JustOneMoreFix.